Hold up.
Question number 1. In a few sentences, can you tell us what your study all about? Yes, I can tell you all on what our study is all about. So, our study is all about the threat of COVID-19 towards those residents living in Maximo Villa Street, Sitio Piniquitan, Camamanan, Cagayan de Oro City, most specifically senior citizens. Also, our study focuses on why people in Maximo Villa Street, Sitio Piniquitan, Camamanan are afraid of medical checkups and how they deal with this problem. Question number 2. What motivates you to study the problem? The one who motivates me to study the problem is the one who are involved in the problem. Bereavement, isolation, loss of income, and fear are triggering mental health conditions or exacerbating existing ones. It motivates me the most because I am curious and want to learn more about how people are able to overcome this kind of problem. Question number 3. Why did you choose the problem? I approximately choose the problem. It is because I do really think that this is a catchy problem. This is also fascinating and relevant to our current situation, which is the pandemic.
Number 4 question. What are the variables of our study? The variables of our study are independent and dependent variable. Our independent variable is the senior citizen's attitude, while our dependent variable is about seeking for health professional. Number 5 question. What is the crucial part of writing your research? I think the crucial part of writing our research is where we have to think for a cache topic that is related to our strand. It took time and a bunch of suggestions for us to decide which of those suggested topic is more essential to use. And speaking of individual contribution, I myself found that seeking for sources online that is related to our topic is also I considered a crucial part of writing our research, because we need to spend more time to read those articles whether it is related to our topic or not.
For question number 6, how will your study be helpful to future researchers? Our study can help future researchers for references and data that contains informations that could help them to gain more knowledge. It can also help them to find answers from the informations collected. Our study can also help the future researchers by expanding and understanding the study that is being conducted. For question number 7, what problem are you trying to understand? Since our study mainly focuses on the attitudes of the Maximo Villa Street, Piniquitan, Camamanan senior citizens towards seeking of medical help during this pandemic, the problem that we are trying to understand is that why is it that most of them, the senior citizens, are hesitant or having second thoughts on whether they will do medical checkup or any other medical help into a hospital or just a barangay healthcare center with regard to their health condition, especially now that there is a pandemic. The risk of having fear by the threat of the COVID-19 is on a high level. For question number 8, what specific theory supports this study? The specific theory that supports the study is the SCT, or the Social Cognitive Theory by Albert Bandura. This theory describes the influence of individuals' experiences, the actions of others, and the environmental factors onto the individual health behaviors.
Question 9. Why is it that your study does not have a hypothesis? Not all study does have a hypothesis. Sometimes a study is designed to be exploratory, and as more we go through the study, we explore more and seek the knowledge of what is the study is all about. Some area can be explored more thoroughly to specify a hypothesis in our study, or prediction that can be tested out in the future process of research. Question number 10. What are the benefits that the students can get from your study? Students can get a lot of benefits from it because We seek more specific information to make the audience or students know about the study that we research for. They will need it for the information or for
For question number 1. So, what is the scope of your study? This study aims to know about the attitude of senior citizens of Maximum Ville Street, Panitikan, Kamamanan towards seeking professional help in times of pandemic. And specifically, the study was to concern itself with such questions as why there are some people are being afraid to have a hospital checkup. What are they afraid of? And what happens if there are some people don't want to go to have a hospital checkup? Mostly, these questions have been asked by many people who are being curious, and that's why some people are being afraid. And for those people who experience the hospital checkups and wondering why there are some people who are being afraid to have a hospital checkup, what could be the solution? There are many ways to conduct hospital checkups to the patients who is really afraid to have a checkup. And some people do respect their decisions and giving advice to the people who are being afraid to have a hospital checkup. And for question number 2, what are the limitations you encountered when you were making your paper? As I encountered in this study, the objective is to know why some people are having afraid to have a hospital checkup, and what are they afraid of, and how to solve or prevent people who are being afraid to have a hospital checkup.
Question number 3. How did you define your definition of terms? We came up with this problem that is relevant these days, and it led us to the issue of the attitude of senior citizens of Maximo Ville Street, Sitio Panikitan, Kamamanan towards seeking professional medical help in times of pandemic. We look into why they have this mindset, and our findings revealed that many senior citizens from Maximo Ville St. Kamamanan are afraid of checkups as a result of the pandemic. We explored the reasons of their anxiety and look into ways to get them change their perspective. Question number 4. How did you present your related literature? We presented our literature by the method of interviewing and obtaining data of the attitudes and reasons of senior citizens living in Maximo Ville Street, Sitio Panikitan, Kamamanan using the internet.
Question number 5. What local study best support represent study and why? The local study best support represent study is the study done by Christian Jesper Nicomedes and Ron Michael Avelia, published on March 2020. The study they made will help our present study because they conducted a study on how many Filipinos are afraid of COVID-19. In the survey they conducted, it shows that so many of our countrymen are afraid of COVID-19, not only the elderly but also the children aged 13 to 67 years old. In the study they made is a huge help to us because the topic we are going to study is pretty much the same. The only difference is that we are only focusing on senior citizens living in Maximo Ville Street, Sitio Panikitan, Kamamanan, Cagayan de Oro. Question number 6. What is the most significant and related literature in the study and why? The most significant and related literature in the study is the article made by Shi and Chi, which was published on October 1, 2020. According to the article he did, so many elderly people in Malaysia aged 60 and above are afraid and fearing the adverse effect of COVID-19 on their health because 32% who died in viruses are aged 61 to 70 years old. And this is the main reason why so many elderly people in Malaysia are afraid of COVID-19. In the article he did was pretty similar and it matches on our study. This is the related literature I choose because it will help and guide us and give us an idea on how we will do our research paper.
Question number 7. What is the related study that greatly supports the overall paper? So basically, this is also a study which greatly supports the overall paper. According to a study published by Williams Project on the Study of Economics in Higher Education 2002, stronger students have an impact on their peers and actually help improve the overall academic performance of the peer groups. Overall, this statement states that having a peer that focuses on academic studies will help the students to develop their intellectual knowledge. Question number 8. What is the most essential thing to consider in writing our chapter 2? The most essential thing to consider in writing our Chapter 2 is to cite major conclusions, findings, and methodological issues related to the gap in the knowledge from Chapter 1. It is written for knowledgeable peers from easily retrievable source of the most recent possible issue.
Question number 9. What ethical standard did you miss to employ in crafting your research? As a minimum, the researcher should avoid risk of harm and treat others as they would want to be treated. Integrity and transparency are the vital in research. These ethics committees expect you to share any actual or potential conflicts of interest that could affect your work. In addition, you have to be honest and transparent throughout the approval process and the research process. For question number 10, when to use the two types of citation in your research? For me, anytime you directly quote, paraphrase, or summarize the essential elements of someone else's idea in your work. An in-text citation is a brief notation within the text of your paper or presentation, which can refer the reader to a fuller notation or end-of-paper citation that provides all necessary details about the source of information.
What specific citing style should we use in our paper? The specific citing style should be used in our paper is the APA, or the American Psychological Association. This form of writing research paper is used mainly in the social science, like psychology, anthropology, sociology, as well as the education and other fields.
Why did you choose the quantitative and qualitative method in your study? We choose the qualitative method in our study given that both qualitative and quantitative market research provide vital ingredients. The understanding you are looking for, combining them should deliver significant benefits, enabling you to compare and contrast the result and gaining much deeper insight.
For question number 3, explain briefly your research design with citation. The research design we use in our citation is the case study design. A case study design is a detailed study of a specific subject such as a person, a place, an event, an organization, or a phenomenon. This phrase was according to Shona Malcolms that was published on May 8, 2019 and later on revised on June 19, 2020. This design aims to be as specific as it can in interviewing and gathering the data of a specific subject. Question number 4. Why do you choose these respondents? We choose these respondents because we know that these people are most likely to experience the fear of hospitals. We all know that senior citizens are very sensitive, especially when it comes to their health. Before the pandemic, we already heard about the nosocomophobia, or the fear of going to the hospitals, and the news increases as the pandemic started. And up until now, people are very afraid to go to the hospitals for checkups. That's why we choose the senior citizens of Maximo Valley Street, Piniquitan, Kamaman-an to be our respondents, aside from the fact that one of our group member lives there. Question number 5. What sampling procedure did you employ in your study, and explain why? We choose the convenient sampling procedure in our study. It is because we do not have enough time and chance to survey the place and the people given the situation our country is facing right now. One of our group member lives in Maximo Valley Street, Piniquitan, Kamaman-an, and that's why it is easier for us to access the place. And we also heard about the rumor of the senior citizen of Maximo Valley Street, Piniquitan, Kamaman-an, that they're afraid to go to the hospital for checkups, and later on confirmed by one of our group members.
Question number 6. How did you craft your instrument? We build our instrument by conducting a small surveys and distributing some questionnaires.
For question number 7.
Why did you use 4 to 5 point scale or the Likert scale in your study. We primarily use 2-point scale since it is not highly recommended for researchers but to minimize respondent dissatisfaction because you can easily choose an answer in any question, unlike the 5 to 9-point scale that takes time. And these 2-point scale can help to improve the response rate and quality, and you can easily calculate the collected data.
For question number 8,
why is the scoring procedure important to a paper? The scoring process is critical to our paper because it allows us to quickly analyze the data collected or identify the various types of the data collected.
For number 9, how will you gather your data? We gather our data by using this method: published literature sources, surveys, interview, observation, document, record, and experiment. For number 10, how will we statistically treat our data? The term statistical treatment is a catch-all term which means to apply any statistical term which means to apply any statistical method or data. Treatments are divided into two groups: descriptive statistics, which summarize our data as a graph, or summary statistics, which make prediction and test hypotheses about our data. Further, statistical treatment of data greatly depends on the kind of experiment and the desired result from the experiment. For number 11, how will you present the reference? First, ask permission from each of your reference. Second, provide reference with a heads up that someone might be calling to ask about us. Third, remind reference about our skills and accomplishment. Fourth, make sure list of reference is up to date, accurate, and error-free.